The 15-Point Plan is part of the Win, Make, Give podcast network.
Hello, everyone. We are here at the 15-Point Plan. This is Jacqueline Smith and my friend Ryan Greigg. Say hi, Ryan.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the 15-Point Plan. Jacqueline, what do we got for him today?
Today, we are talking about hydration. Hydration. What does that mean? Ryan, I remember we were just talking about the old days of the get out of the rut plan, the OG 15-Point Plan. And I remember Ben's definition for hydration was not drinking calories. And so it kind of got me thinking about how my definition has changed over the years. And I think it can be different for everyone. So I want you guys to think about hydration just like movement. We talked last time about movement and how that is also different depending on where you're at in the journey. So for some people, maybe getting your hydration point every day could be if you're, still addicted to soda and you're trying to give that up, maybe you get your point for hydration when you don't drink soda or when you don't drink wine. Lots of people doing the no alcohol thing in the new year. So maybe that's what it is for you. Or maybe it is an amount of water or something like that. So I remember for myself, I did 75 hard years ago, and you have to drink 4 liters of water, Ryan, on that. And I remember that feeling so hard, almost impossible when I first started it. And then it was one of the things that from the very first time I did 75 hard, I never went back. I never stopped drinking 4 liters of water. And my body just craves it. I don't feel good if I don't have my 4 liters of water throughout the day. And I have other friends who did the same thing, did 75 hard with me, and they actually started feeling sick. And they had to add salts or different things to their water because they weren't feeling good drinking that much water. So you have some information about that. Why don't you share some of the things that you add to your water and how much water we should be drinking? How do we know? Let's go into some of that.
Hydration is such a key aspect of our bodies. I mean, we know that our bodies and our brains are about 75% water?
Yeah.
So we look at how much of our body and our organs and everything is made of water. We know that our bodies inside and out really need a high level of water to stay hydrated. But what is that? What is that amount, right, Jacqueline? When we do the 75 hard, we're drinking, you said 4 liters. I call it a gallon, but what is that amount, right? What is enough water? I remember growing up, they would say 8 cups of water a day is good. Drink 8 cups of water. Well, how much of that? How many ounces are in a cup? So how much water is enough water? One thing I love about my water bottles and getting water is our refrigerators a lot of times will tell you how many ounces are coming out of there. And I measured that, right? So I keep a few water bottles that are 32 ounces. And I know if I drink 4 of those, that's a gallon or 4 liters. So I'm able to track that. But is that enough for me? I weigh 175 pounds. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm pretty active, but I also drink some caffeine, right? You got to keep that in mind. I think the easiest way to look at it though, Jacqueline, there is no exact amount of ounces to know that we are staying hydrated. It's going to range from men to women, from size, from activity level, from consumption of foods to caffeines to other items that we're going to intake. I think the only real way to know that we are hydrated, Jacqueline, is a urine test and a urine analysis and to look, right? And is it fairly clear? And people are probably chuckling right now. They're going, oh my gosh, Ryan, but that's the thing is if you look, go Google this right now. If you're listening to know how much water you're drinking, are you drinking enough water? They're going to give you a couple different colors on that urine test. And you just got to go look, Jacqueline, and just find out, is it pretty clear? And if it's not clear, you're probably not quite hydrated enough, I think is what I have learned over the years of studying hydration. If it's not on the clear side, you probably need to drink some more water. And we'll leave it at that. Now, that's quantity of water. But let's talk about quality of water, because this is something that I think people are really catching on, Jacqueline. I think people have really caught on over the last couple of years, and maybe it's just because I've researched a little bit more. But what are things that we can add to our water? Because what we're finding out that basic tap water, some people even go as far as to call it dead water. It's not living water. It's not doing much for our body because they've stripped it from all the minerals that were in that water that your body's going to absorb. So if we really want to take our hydration to the highest level, there's going to be things that we can add to our waters, things that will help our body absorb that water, things that will help our body digest. So let's talk about a couple of those things. And first one is pink Himalayan salt, right? Now, if you're like me, your initial reaction is like, wait a minute, that seems totally counterproductive. Why am I adding salt, something that we think would dehydrate us, to our water to help us with hydration? But see, here's the thing with pink Himalayan salt. And for those that aren't familiar, pink Himalayan salt is a natural salt that comes from the Himalayan mountains. It's pink because they have not processed it or refined it like traditional table salt, which is white. Pink Himalayan salt is going to help your body absorb the water by having that salt in your body. In the water, your body is going to absorb the water. But also pink Himalayan salt, Jacqueline, people have found that to be helping with detoxification. So it's going to pull stuff out of your body as well. So by adding pink Himalayan salt to your water, it's going to allow your body to absorb the water more, but it's also going to allow your body to pull things out from your body and then remove that from your body. So pink Himalayan salt. But our friend Brian Gubernick talked about this on the No Days Off podcast, I think couple weeks ago maybe. He talked about this morning concoction. And I was like, yes, Brian, hit him with this morning concoction. And this is something, Jacqueline, that took me, I don't know, many months of trying before one morning I just craved it. And this morning concoction is a little bit of pink Himalayan salt and like half a lemon or a lime. So here's what we do. And this is how I like to do it. I wake up in the morning, I go turn that water on to boil because I'm like you, I like my coffee. But we know that that's going to take a couple of minutes. It's going to take a couple of minutes. So during that time, I'm starting to stack my habits. The water is boiling. I go out to my gym, I turn my heaters on. I come back in, I start grinding some pink Himalayan salt, and I squeeze my lemon into my water. I pour 12 ounces of water into my coffee mug that I'm going to use for coffee, but that's that concoction of the lemon and the pink Himalayan salt. So I use a little warm water and then cold water, because I don't know if you knew this, Jacqueline, but your body doesn't really love ice cold water, especially first thing in the morning. If you picture your body being at, 98 degrees? And then imagine the inside of your body is probably around the same temperature. If you're putting in 60 degree cold water, is your body going to like that as much as if it was close to the temperature of your body?
So help me. Wait, I got to stop you for a second because I'm still hung up on this salt in the water thing. The lemon thing I can do, but you're telling me you're grinding salt and adding this to your water in the morning. So this is like new information for me. So how much salt are we talking about here? And then do you shake it up? Do you stir it up? Like, are you sipping this or do you just pound it back because it's nasty? Tell us more.
It is. It's an acquired taste. And that's why I said it did take me a few months, honestly. But then one morning, I don't know, it just hit. It tasted good. And when I say I grind it, the reason I say that is because I like to buy the pink Himalayan salt that comes in the unprocessed form. So it's like crystals, like rocks, and they sell them in little grinders. Okay. But really, it's a pinch. It's not very much. It's not a lot. You can do pre-mixes where they say maybe add like between an eighth or so of a mason jar with the salt and then fill that with water, and then you can take that over the week. But it's not that much. And yes, it is an acquired taste, and it's certainly salty and lemony. But the reason I like it a little warmer is because it feels like a tea, but it just feels super healthy. Like when I drink that first thing in the morning, I don't know, Jacqueline, something happens where I just feel like I'm doing the right thing. My brain kicks in. Like I drink that big mug of body warmth water with some lemon and some salt. I know my gym heaters are kicking on. I know the coffee's kick in. I know I'm about to go meditate for 20 minutes and something magical just happens. And it just really kickstarts the day. So the salts, remember, they're going to help us absorb the water. They're going to help us detoxify. But here's the cool thing about the lemon that I don't think a lot of people get. When we think lemons and limes, we think acid, right? Like acidic. And what we know about our body and our blood and our pH is you're either going to be on the acidic level or on the alkaline level. Here's the crazy thing, Jacqueline. Most diseases come from when our pH or our body is too acidic. Yeah. And there's a ton of research, and we'll get into this another time, about just acidic versus alkaline. The more alkaline the pH of our body is, the less likely we are to have disease. When we break down that word disease, it's dis-ease. It's making life harder. we're just making our freaking life harder. But if we can hydrate ourselves and stay away from that disease and keep a more alkaline state of our body, we're just going to feel better. Now, here's the neat thing about lemons and limes. They are acidic. However, once they enter our body and turn into our body and into our blood, they turn into alkaline, and they cause alkaline byproducts of our body. And that's the difference between lowering the acidity level in your body. So the thing is, you're first thing in the morning, you're adding the salts. They're going to help detoxify. They're going to help absorb water. But you're also encouraging your body to stay in a more alkaline state, which is going to remove the disease. It's going to make you have more ease in your body to start your day and to keep you hydrated throughout the day. Now, I only do that lemon and salt for my first cup of water throughout the day. I don't add salt to my water for the rest of the day. That's because I use pink Himalayan salt or moderate amounts of salt throughout the day in my foods. So I know I'm getting it in other ways as well.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to do like an entire episode on salt, I think, after this. If you're interested in learning more about the pH levels in your body, I read this really good book years ago. It's called The Power of Superfoods. And I think you just inspired me to reread it. It's got to be the most cheesiest looking book out there. So there's these two guys on there. They've got some tans going on, but it's such a great book. And I think you just inspired me to reread it. Let's dive in a little bit too to hydration and the effects of cognitive function. So I read that your cognitive function declines even at mild water loss, even around 1 to 2% of water loss or dehydration. And so that affects and it causes, poorer concentration, increased reaction times, short-term memory loss, negative mood changes. And it's crazy because it's just such a mild loss of water from the body that can affect you in these ways that I think we don't always make the connection throughout the day. So if you're going about your day and you're like, gosh, I'm having a hard time concentrating, or I can't figure out this math problem, or whatever it is, it's been proven that dehydration affects your cognitive function so much because it helps your brain cells communicate with each other, which is so important as you're going about your day. So water, it clears the toxins and waste that impair brain function and carries nutrients to your brain to keep your brain functioning in a healthy way. So we don't realize the massive impact that hydration has on the body, but also on the mind. And it can cause, so much. Fatigue, right, is a huge thing that we're all battling throughout our days because most of us have so much more on our plates. And I think we don't realize all the time that we're not setting ourselves up for success, and we're fighting against the grain when we're not, right? Last time we talked about not moving our bodies, and then now when we're not hydrating. And so I think it's so, so important. Again, if you're not motivated to do it for physical reasons, if you're like me, I'm really motivated to do it for that cognitive function. I want to be on. I want to be able to focus throughout my day, and I want to be sharp. And I think that comes from hydration, right, Ryan?
I agree 100%. I love that word. I want to be sharp. I want to be able to react quickly. I want to be present with my people. I want to be able to have intelligent conversations with those around me. And sharp is such a perfect word for that. And I think without high levels of cognitive function and being dehydrated, we are just not going to be sharp.
Yeah.
Right.
So just remember, you all, Ryan said it here. If it's not clear, you're clearly dehydrated.
That's right. That's right. And I think it's good to revisit that calorie idea, right? Like, let's make sure that we're getting enough water first and foremost. Yeah. But second of all, if we're going to enjoy a beverage from a coffee shop or an alcoholic beverage, just be very mindful that we probably need to now go drink 2 more cups of water to balance that out. And how many calories could we have added to our daily intake by that one, latte or other caloric beverage. So just be mindful of that when drinking beverages that have calories in there, because that's going to affect that. But also it could mean that you need to drink a little bit more water as well to balance out what you just drank that had some calories in it. So hydration is super important, obviously, so that we can perform both mentally and physically. Our body's not going to recover. Our muscles aren't going to recover without hydration, but we're just going to feel a little dull. Jacqueline, we're going to go from jerk to Herc, from Jercules to Hercules by just moving a little and drinking our water.
Yeah.
Jercules to Hercules, staying hydrated, right?
And join the Clear Pea Club, right, Ryan?
I'm never going to hear the end of that one now. That's right. That's right. So we're glad that we could give everybody just a realistic laugh as to how to make sure you're getting enough hydration, enough water. And what else, Jacqueline?
Well, I think that's it. I love how embarrassed you got talking about our pee today. And so that made me smile. And I think next up on the docket is sleep. So on our next episode, we are going to talk about sleep, and stay tuned for more of the 15-point plan, and find us online, share your journey with us. And we're always looking forward to the next episode where we get to hang out with you guys for a little bit.
That's right. Until next time, check us 15pointplan.com, winmakegive.com. You can find us on Instagram, Bentley's Old Man, Jacqueline Ray Smith. And as always, 15-point plan. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Hi, Chad Himes here, and I want to let you know about my podcast, Achieve Your Apex, on the Win, Make, Give podcast network. If you're ready to unlock your full potential, then Achieve Your Apex is right for you. Join me as we go on a journey to becoming your best self. Using my best-selling book as our guide, I'll share practical tips, inspiring stories, and fantastic interviews so you can achieve your apex. Whether it's personal development, career success, or mastering your mindset, we've got you covered. Subscribe now to Achieve Your Apex wherever you get your podcasts and start your transformation today.